and welcome to episode 15 of Lisburn Distillery TV. I'm Lydia Campbell.
And I'm Colin Hopkins. On today's show we're going to be catching up with a distillery legend who has made no less than 524 appearances for this great club.
We will then be hearing an extended interview from Lisburn Distillery head coach Colin McIlwaine.
We'll see what the players got up to in their weekend off.
We'll then be catching up with what went on with the Premier Intermediate League last weekend, as well as looking ahead to this weekend's fixtures.
And finally we give you the final result of the auction for the Lisburn Distillery Intertoto Cup shirt. So Lydia, then, no distillery match at the weekend, but I hear you got your football fix elsewhere.
Yes, so I made the snap decision on Friday to book flights and trains and a hotel, and the most important of all, two film tickets rather, for the game against Newcastle. So probably one of the best football away days I have ever been to. Absolutely fantastic. You're miles up at St James's Park. There was like 1,500 of us up there, and saw the boys give Newcastle a footballing lesson. So Premier League, be prepared. We could be back.
We're ready.
Fulham could be back.
Certainly they played well from what I've seen in the highlights. So
Yeah.
it seemed to be a great match to be at. So
Unbelievable.
I'm sure you're absolutely delighted to be there. As for myself, well, Saturday, because we had no match, I thought, well, I'll go and take in another Premier Intermediate League game. I'll go and watch Sport and Leisure against Queen's, bottom of the table clash. Sounded exciting. Went off to, sort of to try and find the ground. Got lost completely in West Belfast. Eventually found it, only to find out that at 2:15 the game had actually been called off several hours earlier because of a flooded pitch. So it wasn't exactly an enjoyable day for me. But
no, not
on those
quite.
days, let's
we wouldn't be the last person to get lost in West Belfast, to be fair. So not too bad.
Okay.
At least you can say that.
That's true.
Well, for the players of Lisburn Distillery, it wasn't such a fun weekend off when they had to do some extra training in the gym. And Colin went along with them, and here is what he saw.
Hi and welcome from a gym in Belfast, where today the players are making the most of their day off by doing some circuit training and also some ice bath treatments, rather them than me. We've got some footage of exactly how they got on, and after that we'll be catching up with Colin McIlwaine to see how he thinks the season's going so far. So Colin, thanks very much for joining us today on Lisburn Distillery TV. You've been in the job now, just let's look back since last June or so. How are you finding the step up from Amateur League to Irish League?
Yeah, it's 100% been very enjoyable. I knew with the teams with the quality that they had in Championship 2 this year, that was certainly going to be a challenge. We knew starting from scratch that it was going to be hard work. We knew what we were going to have to expect. Certainly, we spoke about it at the very start. It was going to be a working process. I think we have made progression throughout the season. Recent results haven't been great. and that's give us a wee bit of pressure that we probably didn't want to have. But certainly to step up the level of quality within the league, with some big clubs in there. There's no easy game on any Saturday. We know that we're in a tough situation at the minute, but certainly it's been very enjoyable, and I thank the club for the support and that was shown to me and George. We're obviously looking forward now, hopefully, to the end of the season, making sure that we keep ourselves out of trouble, and then looking forward to next season.
The season itself, it started off a bit slowly. We gradually gathered a bit of pace. If we sort of rewind the clock back to, say, 4 weeks ago, things were looking very rosy in the garden. Looking back there, sort of 4 weeks ago, what were your feelings? Did you think we were in a false position? Did you think we were in a justified position? Or did you think we sort of lay, forgetting about the last few weeks, just going back that sort of 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, I definitely think the progress from the start of the season into that middle part, you could see the young lads getting bigger and stronger and better. Some of the results that went our way, we did have big performances. I didn't like when everybody started talking about maybe promotion and all the rest of it. I just thought it would be too much too soon. Not just point at you, but a lot of people in another club. But I mean, one of our jobs is to make sure we do the best job we can for Lisburn Distillery, and to have the supporters being on our side the way they are and show us the support, and the club who are working tirelessly. I can see the amount of volunteers there is in the place, yourself included. Everybody seemed to be going well, and you just deserve that. But not that we were in a false position. We knew that it was nice to be feeling comfortable, and now, as I say, the last few results have made that sort of way back a bit more realistic. We're looking over our shoulders, we're relying on all the results, and we know we need to dig out some big results over the last few games before the split. But we'll be doing everything we can to make sure that we don't get this club in any trouble.
Okay. Target-wise then, for the remainder of this season, what target are you setting as a team?
With 4 games left of the split, we're obviously, it would be massively brilliant to us if we could finish in the top 6. But I think the main thing is to make sure that if we do finish in the bottom 6, that mathematically that we're not going to be under too much pressure, because it's new to some of these young lads. We've got to realise that some of these young lads are coming out of reserve team football in that last year, and this is where they're learning their trade. And I really don't want them to be seen to be in a relegation battle, and I hope that doesn't happen. But I do have some experienced boys there who will know what it means to them, to make sure that doesn't happen. So our realistic target is to make sure, I think from the start of the season, was to steady the ship. And if we can get a season where the people can see, the supporters and the club can see that they've got a management team and a bunch of players who are proud to play for the team and who are working hard for each other, and can see that there is a brighter future for the club, then that would be the first year as our target. Then we'll be looking at maybe next season, and especially the season after, to become contenders, hopefully, for promotion.
I know we've been talking to you behind the scenes about next season, so for these early stages. I mean, you've certainly even now identified some players who you'd like to bring in, and obviously a lot depends on finance and things like that there. But I mean, you must be optimistic next season's side will even be stronger in this particular season.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, as I say, it's still early doors for looking at next season, but I think every manager will be looking and they'll be analysing their season and saying up to now of what they might need for next year, and that's what myself and George will do. We'll concentrate on what we're doing now and making sure that we get the results that we need, but we will be looking at further down the line. It was a great boost that the club, I mean, I've said to us, like, looking forward to having us on board for the next season and the season beyond, and that's what we need. We need to sort of way have the full support of the club, and in doing that, then we'll go out and look. We know what the league is going to take now, what it's going to take now to be up and be contenders, and we know what sort of type of player we need to go for. And the other side of that coin is keeping the players that we want to keep, and especially some of the younger boys who might get the offer to go on to bigger and better things, and we'll have to shake their hands and say thank you. But we're hoping to keep the basis of what we have and add strength to that to give us a better chance next season.
Okay, Colin, thank you very, very much for taking the time to speak to us here today on Lisburn Distillery TV, and thanks to you and George for your efforts so far this season. Thank you.
Quite an interesting interview there with Colin McIlwaine. What are your thoughts on how the management team have taken to their first year at Lisburn Distillery?
I think they did very well. Certainly, I know the general feeling from the support and so forth. They're very happy with what they've done. Yes, we've had a few tough weeks this last few weeks, but that's only to be expected. But I think what they have done, they've brought a sense of professionalism to the club, which has been very, very good. They've brought a sense of loyalty. The players who've came are very, very supportive of what they're doing, and they really do fight as one group, which is very, very encouraging as well. And they've also got a bit of vision as to where the club's going to go in the future. I know, having sat down and chatted with the two of them over the last few weeks, I mean, they're certainly already hardly looking towards next season as to where the club's going to go and how it's going to grow from there. So very encouraging.
It's very really positive as well. The club has went through some real difficulties. Since maybe the past 5 years or so,
It's been a hard time.
and you needed guys to come in and stabilise it, and that seems to be what they've done. Yes, you're right. It has been difficult weeks, but that's part of the course, I think.
Indeed. So I think on behalf of the club, I'd only prefer to sort of wish Colin and George, well, first of all, thank them really for what they've done so far, and to wish them every success for the future, and hopefully they can start to rebuild a good distillery team that we can all be proud of come the end of it.
Next up on tonight's show, we would just like to bring to your attention that we are currently trying to expand the media team here at Lisburn Distillery Football Club.
Yes, indeed. If you're watching your show and you think, well, I'd love to get involved in something like that, why don't you just drop us a line on the email address now showing on your screen?
It doesn't matter if you're male or female or what age you are, as long as you have a passion and commitment for sport and would like to see what goes on behind the scenes at a football club, and you would like to gain some more opportunities from this, then this is definitely something that you should be interested in.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Next up on tonight's show, we will be reviewing the games that have taken place at the Premier Intermediate League since our last show last week.
Just looking at the results that have taken place in those games, a couple of which actually stand out are Newry thumping Topamore United by 6-1, which nobody predicted, and the other one was Dundela, who were leading 2-0 at Myola Park before eventually losing 3-2.
And if we look at the league standings after this round of fixtures, we'll see that despite the Whites not having a game at the weekend, they still remain in 7th place in the table. So Colin, how have these results affected our own individual challenge?
Well, the good news is, from my viewpoint, is that I got double your points last week. I got 4 points, you got 2, and the gap is now down to 19 points to 15, with only 4 points separating us.
Okay, so the pressure's on then.
Pressure's on. I was just thinking earlier too that you have correctly predicted 2 correct scores since the entire duration of this competition. I haven't predicted anything, and that is the difference between us at the moment. So I just need to get 1 or 2 of those 100% right, and I'll have you.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So for those of you who haven't been watching the show, our little forecast challenge is where Colin and myself try and predict the games in the Premier Intermediate League, something that we have found has been a lot more difficult than what we anticipated. Basically, at the very end of the season, the loser has to wear a shirt of the other player's team. Okay, so for my case, if I win, Colin gets the absolute pleasure of wearing a Fulham shirt, whereas if Colin wins, I have to, basically commit absolute atrocity by wearing a Chelsea shirt.
And I'm going to be emailing it over to Fulham Football Club to make sure they see her in our glory.
Oh dear. So let's look at this weekend's game then and see how we get on. So the pressure's on for both of us, I think.
Yep.
Right, let's see.
So game number 1 is Bangor at home to Newington. Would you like to go first with that one?
Okay. I'm going to go 3-1 Bangor.
I can see that being a draw, and I'm going to go with Bangor 1, Newington 1.
Okay, I'm just picking up the league table here just to remind myself. The next one then is Dundela are at home to Queens.
Dundela against Queens. I think Queens might start picking up a few points along the way. I think they might just edge that one. I'm going to say Dundela 1, Queens 2.
Ooh, right, okay. Well, I'm actually going for the opposite.
Okay.
I say Dundela 2, Queens 1.
It's going to be interesting. Third one up, Myola Park at home to Banbridge Town.
Well, Myola did something absolutely miraculous last week, didn't they? I don't see them doing it again, but I'm going to go for a draw. Score draw, 2-2.
And I think Myola will continue their winning form, and I'm going to say they're going to win by 3-1.
Okay, right, pressure. And last but not least, we have Sport and Leisure Swifts versus Newry. Now, you did try and predict a call-off a few weeks ago, and I said no. Okay. I kind of regret that decision now, but no, we'll have to predict the score.
Okay, Sport and Leisure Swifts against Newry. Newry are on a very good roll at the moment. They're sitting very tight in second spot in the league. I can't see anything other than Newry win. I think it'll be Sport and Leisure Swifts 1, Newry 3.
Okay, well, I'm going to go for a Newry victory as well, but to be honest, I think it's going to be a lot tighter than that.
Okay.
Sport and Leisure are going to try and keep it very tight, but I think it's going to be Sport and Leisure 0, Newry 2.
Okay, and as usual, we'll give you a full update on those scores once the games are played for next week's show.
Very exciting. Next up for the Whites is an away game against league leaders Liverpool United at the Showgrounds.
Yes, indeed. That fixture takes place this Saturday. That's Saturday the 18th of March. It's a 3 o'clock p.m. kickoff. But if you're interested in travelling up to the game, we are organising supporters' bus, which will leave here at New Grosvenor at 11:45 a.m. in the morning.
If you're interested in making the trip on the bus, it is at a price of £10. And if you would like to book your place, all you have to do is contact us using the email address on the screen right now.
We look forward to seeing you on the day. Next up on the show today, we're absolutely delighted to welcome to Lisburn Distillery TV a distillery legend in the form of Bertie McMinn.
Yeah, so Bertie joined up the club as a raw 16-year-old in 1974 and made an absolutely unbelievable 524 appearances for the famous distillery club. That's a remarkable record, Colin.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, showed great loyalty through his time, even more so considering the fact that the club were on a bit of a tough time. It offers to go elsewhere, but he opted to remain under his distillery, so we're very, very proud of him for doing that. And I would like to say to welcome Bertie into the studio, and Lydia spoke to him to find out exactly what his thoughts are on his time at Distillery Football Club.
So Bertie, you made your debut as a raw 16-year-old, 1974. Did you ever think that you would amass 524 appearances for Lisburn Distillery?
No, I didn't, Lydia. No, I really didn't. But as the seasons went on, the stronger I got, the better I got. I knew that I had something to offer the club.
Do you think that sort of club loyalty, you know, that's what that was, essentially, club loyalty. Do you think is that a thing of the past now with today's football?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you think that is?
Because there's too much money going about, and you know, people want money to go somewhere else to hire better.
Do you think that, you know, not even at a local level, it is affecting the game in terms of professional footballers? You see players moving from the Premier League to China. Do you think it's an issue as well at the local and the amateur levels?
It's right through the levels. It's absolutely right through it.
Moving then on to your career here at Lisburn Distillery, you played in the team that won the County Antrim Shield in 1985. You played with some fantastic players then, players who went on to make it across the water with, you know, teams like Celtic, West Ham, Sunderland. What are your memories of playing with those players?
Well, some of them, as you say, the ones that went, McKnight and boys like that. There were still great players in the team. You know, Kehoe, Big Williams, he went away. Liam Burns, we'd some Buster Andrews, with still some great players. But the thing was that they all wanted to play for Distillery.
Do you think that has made this club so special to you? I mean, that's the reason why you stayed. You wanted to pull on that white shirt. You wanted to be part of Lisburn Distillery. Do you think that that's an aspect of why this club's still so important to you?
It is, yeah. The supporters were fantastic to me and to all the players that I played with. But, you know, it was a family club and they loved their family.
Over your career, it was 16 years you spent here, a slight break in the middle. What is your overall highlight from that time?
County Antrim. I was captain of the team.
So just special memories in general then?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining us here tonight on Lisburn Distillery TV.
So that's just about it for another episode of Lisburn Distillery TV.
Just before we go, we would just like to confirm that the winner of our auction for the 2008 Intertoto Club shirt was Andy Hill. So Andy, congratulations for that. We will be in contact shortly just to organise the handover for that. So thanks again for that, Andy.
Really appreciate it, Andy. We did get a contact this week from a Carsey, who's actually a Linfield supporter, who actually messages us through social media just to say that he always watches the show and really enjoys it, and is really enjoying to see the way it's developing week on week. So thanks very much for that, Carsey.
Hopefully you see the light at some stage and come back to the true team at this side of Belfast and Lisburn Distillery.
Here's hoping so. Okay, folks, on behalf of Lydia and myself, once again, thank you so much for watching today's episode.
Come on, you whites.